It's all bad. It's all bad now. Jake Paul fully exposed ProBox TV. They go in on him and break it down. Basically say he did not try to win the fight in this video. That is what I will talk about. Let's get to it.
At no point did he try to win. At 0 point of that fight did he try to win. I was saying that he fought like you're like 11 years old and you're boxing your 16-year-old brother. Like you gloat, you stick your tongue out at him, you throw wild haymakers, you fall on the ground, you get knocked out. I mean, you get beat up.
You run to your mom.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, exactly.
It's essentially what happened. So, yeah, but it's to be expected. But honestly, in terms of, what people are saying, like, oh, what's there to lose? He's going to make all this money. Well, you get hurt. It's not just about getting knocked out. And yeah, getting knocked out, it sucks. But he broke his jaw in 2 places, lost a couple teeth. So in terms of how he looks coming out of this fight, he did not endear himself to boxing fans. No one was entertained by watching it. No one is going to you shouldn't give him credit for the way that he fought. And he still got knocked out. I think he would have endeared himself much better to boxing fans if he did what I said earlier, gone out there, tried to fight a little bit, tried to trade a little bit, gets knocked out in the second round. Get knocked out either way.
Ngannou.
Yeah, and Ngannou that fight. Yeah, Ngannou, he's got balls. Yeah. Ngannou's got balls, man. He went out there and he tried to fight, he tried to win. Jake Paul didn't try to win at any point during the fight. He was just trying to survive. And I think that's actually ultimately going to hurt him with boxing fans.
Now, that was Chris Algieri, boxer himself, college educated. Now, keep in mind, Chris Algieri, he has a medical science background. So this is his opinion on the road to recovery for Jake Paul. He already talked about, he didn't really endear himself to boxing fans because what did you really do? You ran around like a chicken with your head cut off and really didn't make an attempt to win the fight.
Listen, this happens. It's not common. Obviously, it's a very bad injury, but double fracture on both sides. You're going to lose teeth there too. And if you saw the X-rays of post surgery, you saw the 2 plates on each side and the missing teeth because they have to take those out because of where the fractures are. Now, in terms of the healing process, first of all, those plates that they put on there, I have one on my hand here. It's basically a bridge, and the bone is allowed to grow and heal around that. That bone density needs to fill in first before they can put those teeth back in there because you got to drill into a jaw while it's healing to put tooth implants. That's not a great idea. So you got to wait for that to heal and then recover before you put those teeth back in. Then you got to get your jaw strength back. He's going to be out of the ring for a while. And he even said, he was like, I need a rest. He's been busy. He has been busy. He's been putting on big shows, at least 2 fights a year, which isn't super busy in terms of an athlete. But for someone like him, who is coming up the way he's been coming up and the kind of shows he's put on, he's been very, very busy. So he's going to take some time off. But we'll see how that jaw comes together because that's a catastrophic injury.
Boom. Now, it is so funny to me that when Boxing Ego says all of the same things, people doubt. I remember when I said Jake Paul is likely, I said I'm not his doctor, but from my estimation, he'll probably be out of the ring 9 months to a year. And you had contrarians in the comment section saying that, oh, no, Ego, you don't know what you're talking about. He'll be back by the summertime. Enjoy. And while we're at it, fight Anthony Joshua again in the rematch. People were saying, oh, his jaw with the titanium plates is going to be stronger than ever. Just because you hear the word titanium and it's a form of metal doesn't mean all of a sudden he turned into Kano from Mortal Kombat. It's not how that works. These are tiny titanium plates. Because you wouldn't even get, if this turns you into like RoboCop or whatever y'all think it does, Wolverine, they wouldn't even allow you to box because people would break their hand if your whole face is constructed of metal like the Terminator, like you Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, you close your boots, give them to me. Yeah, what are you doing? I'm looking for John Connor. It's not how that works. But I like y'all to hear it from other people after Boxing Ego already told you so you can see what's up. Now, this is Paulie Malignaggi, and he cooks Jake Paul as well. Roll the clip.
The problem is you're not going to get any power on your shots when you're trying to hit and also run away at the same time. You have to commit to your punches. So he was never committing to anything. So, of course, even when he landed, there was no power on it. There was nothing that could get Joshua's respect because he was trying to run away for his life while also trying to land the shot. You know, it was at max the most he was going to engage. Ultimately, and Chris Champ, I'm going to push back on the jab thing. He should have cut off the ring. That's the only way he was going to be able to use the jab. If he doesn't cut off the ring, he's not going to be able to use the jab because the guy's running for his life. What are you going to sprint at him and with a jab? You can't use your jab. The jab is used against the guy who's either coming in on you or against the guy who's at range and maintaining that range. A guy who's backing up constantly, running away from you, how are you going to use the jab on him unless you cut him off? That's the criticism I have for Joshua. He wasn't cutting off the ring.
Boom. So again, Boxing Ego, I stay right. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. Now the professionals are telling you everything that Boxing Ego already told you. I am not giving out participation trophies. I don't do that. Maybe you do that with your kids, and they could be on a basketball team or a football team, the Bad News Bears, and their record is 0-16, and you're going to act like they're winners. I don't do that. I give everyone fair and objective criticism. Jake Paul stunk up the joint. And now you have Jake Paul fans and even like the Most Valuable Promotions page trying to find these like small wins. Oh, he dared to be great. We're not doing that. Oh, he lasted longer than Ngannou. Yeah, because Ngannou fought man style and was right there in front of Anthony Joshua. So, yeah, it's easier to survive longer when you're evasive. But as soon as this is what it was looking like, as soon as Jake Paul started to roll his ankle, hurt his leg, and his mobility started to wane. Also, it was a huge ring, like 22 by 22, which is larger than average, right? So I don't know the ring size for like the exact dimensions, but I'm pretty sure the Ngannou ring, it didn't stand out as like a big ring like that. So why are we even trying to compare this? Ngannou fought a man-style fight and went out on the shield. He took the head-up fade. Jake Paul said he was going to take the head-up fade, said Joshua was chinny, he's a weak Brit, he's been knocked out before, he's stiff, a big stiff idiot, and did all this stuff to sell the fight and then got cooked. And it wasn't even from a dynamic Joshua. He didn't really look good for several rounds, didn't cut off the ring, but when he did, he got the job done. So I'm not going to overly criticize Joshua because the spoils go to the victor. You can always look back and see what you could have improved on and all that after you get the win. It reminds me of the movie The Great White Hope, right? People putting their eggs. It was crazy. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, an alternate universe, where you had people picking Jake Paul by knockout, which to me, it shows you in America, right, as a society, they always have the Great White Hope mentality where they're going to let someone with the complexion for the protection sell the fight and talk it up, and they're always expecting like a Rocky movie. What do you mean, Tommy, you want to fight? Like a Drago. Like they're always the Italian stallion. In real life, Rocky would lose to Drago. He would lose to Apollo Creed, etc. But y'all get gassed up from movies and, when Conor McGregor was saying that he was going to whoop Floyd Mayweather. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, I don't see this. Jake Paul looking at this big giant who's an Olympic gold medalist. I feel like Jake Paul's team, I didn't hear no corner advice that really would have helped him. I don't really understand what the game plan was. Like, to me, in hindsight, it looked like the game plan was to talk a lot of crap and sell the fight and hype it up and then hope you could survive so you could be like, yo, I went 8 rounds with an Olympic gold medalist. But all that stuff Jake Paul was popping before the fight, he didn't really put that in commission and put that into play and practice. And it looked like he was just trying to survive. There's no way you're going to win at an elite level like how he was fighting unless AJ has no chin and you were just banking on him coming off of the Dubois loss and you were just thinking his chin was decimated and shattered, right? So he was just easy pickings. But Joshua, he got hit with like one kind of hard shot or a good shot from Jake Paul, bounced off his head, and he continued to throw right after it. So that would tell you that Jake Paul was in trouble. Nikita or whatever, And MVP and the Jake Paul fans, they can keep trying to spin it. Oh, it wasn't a skill difference. It was a size difference. But we're not playing that game either. And I got a dedicated video I'm going to drop exposing the double standards that boxing has with black fighters and other fighters. And that video is coming soon. So subscribe to my channel. And it's just what it is. You know, we're talking about a size difference, but outside of Tommy Fury and AJ, two boxers that actually beat Jake Paul was mad bigger than all of his opponents. So why does Jake Paul receive all this grace for finally fighting somebody bigger than him, but he was about to be bigger than Tank, right? Tank was coming up from 35 to like 190. So who knows what Tank would have weighed? I'm sure Tank wasn't going to weigh 190 pounds. You know what I mean? So where's Tank's sympathy, or Nate Robinson or Ben Askren or Nate Diaz or whoever else that was smaller? And a lot of those guys outside of Tank were less decorated as far as boxing. You know what I mean? So this really hurts Jake Paul, like I've been saying, because yeah, you gathered a lot of people, you made a lot of money, you made some noise, but how many times can you keep having these events that don't live up to exceptional boxing fights? The Mike Tyson fight was dreadful. This fight was dreadful. Joshua didn't look quote unquote special, wasn't one of his best performances. And you ran around, falling around, doing the Tootsie Roll, falling on your knees, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, how many times is Netflix going to run it back for crazy mega millions when the output is not even legendary in the end? Let me know what you think. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.